All right, what's up and what's going on, everybody? This is Al, Poker with Alex, and welcome to the channel. I got something that I am sharing, and I'm glad now that I got a chance. It only took me a day, right? Which is today. I'm not slow at being understanding the situation and then recognizing it and taking it for what it is, right? Like I said before, 8-day skit, right? Prior to that, I had a moment where that happened and I had to take a break. And then I got back in it in December 26th. And from there on, I had been running, never taking a break. Didn't have a reason to because I never really got on a decline as far as what we consider a downswing, right? That didn't happen until like 8 days ago. Other than that, I was pretty much balance up and down. I was up in the thousands in earnings and controlling it, lose a little bit, gain some more, things like that. When this happened, that is when, like today, where I was able to actually, because they say take time to think, play around with it, play your hands in your head. And if the answer comes out to be you did everything right and it just went the way it went, then that is when you have a decision to make. Now, if you're rich, right, if you have that type of money where this can not be a hassle for you, no matter what, you always, like I know somebody that has money coming in to him for the rest of his life because their family is on an oil, I guess you call it, where they got some pipes going through. So they get a check, right? So he's taken care of for the rest of his life. So losing and winning doesn't really matter to him. He's actually going to be there for the love and the thrill of the game. He can lose. He's not worried about it. He's not concerned. But if you take a person like myself, you have to look at the reality. If I am a retiree, right? I put in all my time. I'm receiving a check every month that is taking care of all my responsibilities and then some. I have a little bit, not a lot left over where I can afford, right, out of it to say, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and take this little bit here. And that's not all of it, you get what I'm saying? But I take enough of it that I say, you know what, I'm gonna let this be my starting run in poker. And that's basically what I did. I took a 300 and I ran it up in December. I took 300 out of one of my payments that I received that month. And I said, I'm gonna see what I can do with it. And it took off. It was like lightning in a bottle. It just took off and I was on my way. But like I said, it was controlled up and down. My game was controlled. I wasn't taking hits and taking losses. I would see them every now and then, but not on a regular basis, right? As I was doing for these last 8 days. Like I said, no matter what you do, it wasn't meant for you to walk out the building with racks of or money from the experience. It was meant for you and set in stone that no matter what, the cloud is going to be there and you're not going to be able to get from under it, right? You can get an umbrella all you want, that rain coming in sideways and it's going to hit you. So it took me a day, which was the day, right? I can tell you, man, it's been a minute that I've actually got a nap in. I actually got a nap in the middle of the day, right? 60 years old, and I actually got a nap in. When I was up there playing, right, and I'm sitting down, I'm thinking about these things, and I knew how I would get up and walk away from the table. And when I walk away from the table, I'm getting up and I'm walking, I'm like, because I'm trying to stretch my back and knees, everything you can imagine that will be stiffened and tightened up while I'm sitting there in that chair, right? Even though it's comfortable, at the same time, you got to remember you're constantly sitting and you're cutting off your circulation, kind of, sort of, for the most part. The chairs are comfortable, but unless you get up and walk around, you really put some, not damage to your body, but you do put some things to it that if you're young, pretty much won't even disturb it and bother it. But when we do get older, we got to monitor our health, right? So basically, I seen, like you see in this video right now, this right here, This all came after December 26th. I could be honestly tell you that. Before that, when I decided to get back into poker and everything like that, I basically was getting up in the morning because I got a beach that is no more than 5 minutes in driving distance from the house. So I can go to that beach and I can walk in the morning, right, between 6 and 7, and I can put in 1.5 miles daily. I was doing this. I was monitoring my eating habits and so on and things like that. And when I got into the poker game again, I found myself ordering, right? Because I would have good wins, right? Not on a regular basis, but when I did do it, I was doing it. So I love Chinese food. Well, they have a kitchen where they cook delicious shrimp fried rice, and I will have wings with it. So you take that and you add that up to what that was going to amount to if I'm not doing anything except going to play poker, grabbing something to eat, whether it's there or at the house, and not doing anything, nothing physical, right? Nothing to maintain my health status or anything like that. I'm waking up in the morning like people do when they wake up to go to work, a 9 to 5. I am leaving the house at 9 o'clock, right? Other people get there by 9. I'm leaving the house at 9 o'clock daily, right? To go sit in the poker room. And that's what I was doing. So basically, without knowing it and realizing, poker was controlling my decision making. On days when I knew I should probably get up and then go for that walk, which I still would have time to do. Don't get me wrong, I would still have time to do that. But because I was going to play poker, I just didn't do it and balance it. So I was losing the balance. So basically, I'm glad that I kind of got punched in the mouth and came to my senses and putting poker as an enjoyable experience, right? To play the game, but not come in trying to play it with the conditions that I had set. I had given myself a quota. I'm telling you, when I thought ahead of where I thought I was going to be in a year's time, I was doing the math. I was doing the research. I was thinking this was going to be a win-win situation. And that is what I had programmed myself to do on the poker tables. And I was doing it in December. But in the last couple of 8 days, when it just hit me, and it just seemed like no matter what, and instead of me taking a day off like I probably should have, I should have recognized it in 3 days that I need to take a break. But I didn't do it. So I kept going back. And the more I kept going back, I'm losing 3, 6, sometimes maybe 900, right, in a session, a day, because that is how many rebuys I found myself having to do. And it wasn't because I had made the quota that I had set myself to make. No, I was not even coming close. I would go in a negative, then come back to try to catch up. Go back in the negative, try to catch back up again, right? So it wasn't happening. So in a way, this was in 8 days set in stone that the cloud came in with the rain sideways, no matter if I put an umbrella on it or not. There was no way I was going to get from under that rain. It was going to keep coming, and it's hitting me hard, thunder and lightning. Just everything I'm trying to do is getting crushed, right? So it's kind of good that it happened because now I'm glad that now I can see me being happy that I still have the poker room that I like to play at here. But now it woke me up to realize that just because it's here, it does not mean you're going to dominate. No matter what you try to do, you're not going to dominate the game, right? You have to be the luckiest man or woman in the world to be able to go up there every day and conquer and always walk out a winner every day. It's hard. It's hard. And when you come to that realization and understand that, then that is when you will appreciate the game more and not be so upset because you're feeling that there's no way. This is too easy. This is too easy. How is this happening? It's too easy. You feel what I'm saying? Pro athletes, no matter how much we love watching them play, they have their moments when you're saying, man, what happened? That don't look nothing like him. They must be taking a dive today. You get what I'm saying? The game must be rigged. Don't get me talking about that, about rigged sports, because I still think I think it exists. I'm older now, and I just remember how it used to be back in the days compared to what it, and even if it was rigged back then, you could not really tell that it was compared to now. But that's a whole different conversation too. But anyway, we just getting back on the horse talking about the poker. So yeah, not playing today. Got a good nap in. While I was there laying down, I looked at myself, looked at my weight, as you can see right here. And this all came from burgers, hot dogs, probably potato chips, pizza, that rice I was talking about with the wings and all that. So yeah, put that pound back on. And that just woke me up to say, you know what? You need to get back into your regimen of what you were doing before this. Play it, but don't let it own you, right? Own it. Don't let it own you. And that is what it was doing. So again, this is short. This is shorter than the rest, but this is just saying that if you are in that same type of atmosphere where you had this idea that you're gonna, because we see stuff on TV and we just think we're gonna do that. We're watching them. We're gonna play like they say play, the whole nine. There's a lot behind closed doors that probably go on that we'll never know and see, right? Of how they're able to maintain the status that they maintain, right? Because we have poker pros that we love watching, and we don't see. I'm pretty sure they edit the videos. Don't get me wrong. Like I say, I played WSOP, the Millionaire Maker, back in 2013. And when I went there to the, what was the place we played at, man? White Building, Rio. We played it there. And whole different setting. Once you get up in there, you see all the stars, all the poker pros and things like that. And, you're staring, you're looking. And like I said, I seen Phil Ivey, didn't get a chance to meet him personally and things like that. I seen him from afar. I didn't even know he was in there until he stood up. And I think they did, I don't want to say they did it. I just know I seen him. Right. And I can't remember if people applauded or not. This is way back in 2013. But I know I remember seeing him. I remember seeing other players that you see on TV is there as well. So I was sitting right next to a professional, and somebody asked me when he got up and said, "Did you know who that was?" And because me and him was talking, just having a good conversation. And then somebody say, "Did you know who that was?" And I said, "No." And then he told me who it was. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I didn't know him. Right? Because there's only so many that stood out to me when I watched it. So basically, yeah, I didn't have a clue who this guy was I was talking to, but he wasn't rude or nothing. He was just holding conversation. We just having conversations about this and that, just talking while we waiting on cards. And that's how the conversation was. So even though these guys be on that measure of what we see on TV, they're just regular human beings, man. Regular human beings. That's all it is when you're talking to them, and they have the same situations you have, probably on the poker scale. They're probably not as deep, right, in worries as you would be, right, if that make any sense. But yeah, I needed that. So that was the punch in the mouth that I needed to straighten me out and tell me, hey, play it, but don't give your all into it, because you're going to miss out on so much when you do it, right? And that is true. You see people age at a poker table. Believe it or not. If you step back from it, and I did this one time, and I'm gonna get out of here after that, but I did that one time. When I said I stopped playing up there at the first poker house, the one I said it rubbed me the wrong way, I had to do something that I had to meet somebody up there for. Oh, I know what it was. It was some money that I had left that they was trying to get a hold of me. It was a tournament, and I had placed, and I didn't know it, right? Because it was over with. I didn't know I placed, and they reached out to me, and I had to go in there. When I tell you I walked in that building and how everybody looked different to me, like they had aged, and this wasn't in years, this was just over time, some months and things like that. But when I looked at them, it just looked like so many people had aged at them tables, because they were up there. We all were. We were up there daily grinding. And that was the same thing that's happening now. I got back into that same cycle where I was there every day and not paying attention to me, period. I was paying attention more to the game of what I was going to do, how I set my bar, what I was going to get myself from the game. And that is when I realized that today, when I got a chance to think about it, right, that the game was controlling me. I lost control of it. It was controlling me. And so that is why I'm glad that it happened, because now I woke up and I realized I got to get me back in line, and you have to. So this evening, right, I'm checking the weather and the winds are pretty light. They're not heavy at all. It said it was supposed to rain, but I don't see anything happening. So usually what I do in routine is I go throw lures before the sun goes down, and we get into speck trout and snook, reds, things like that, red drum. If you know about salt water, then you know what I'm talking about. So we get into red drum, snook, trout, and I got these lures that I love throwing, and that's what I'm going to throw this evening. There's a buddy of mine. He'll be over there. He always shows up daily. This is daily routine too. Any day I show up, he shows up. So he does it daily. So we'll be over there this evening doing that. Got my lights ready to go, and hopefully get into some trout or some snook, and then come back with a story to tell. You get what I'm saying? But that was needed. So again, if you are in that same boat that I'm in, if you can relate to it, then you may have to take that step back as well yourself. And then you say, you know what? I got to find me something too. And it's even in Google. When you Google it, it tell you, hey, do some things, go to a gym, work out, get around some people that don't associate with poker to get your mind off of it. Find something to do that'll take your mind away from poker. You get what I'm saying? So that is therapy for your game, for yourself. And that happens, I mean, everything in professional sports, anything that people do. That's why people have the weekend off when they work in regular 9 to 5s, so they can, I guess you call it regress, and get into some family outings or whatever they want to do for the weekend. And then come Monday or Friday, you back at it again from 9 to 5, waiting on Saturday to get here, just so you can clear your mind and hit that reset button and then go back to work on Monday. That's the same thing you're doing here, right? When it comes to the poker, clearing your mind, hit that reset button, and then recharge yourself, and then go back with a clear head. You get what I'm saying? So with that said, I'm out. Y'all be cool again. Peace.